Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
Hi, I'm DKWILL, and this is DK. We'll talk about it. Let's talk about this development here. The SEC approves Grayscale Fund with Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and ADA in a regulatory breakthrough. Now, let's keep that in mind too, the part where it says the regulatory breakthrough. And we know Grayscale, if you've been following along in my prior video, they are the largest crypto asset management firm on the globe. Now let's talk about this article here and how it ties in to us being able to try to ascertain what's going on without getting head faked out. Because we know the prior one was a head fake. Go see my prior video. Wall Street just got a powerful new on-ramp to crypto as the SEC greenlit a multi-asset fund holding the coins that I've already mentioned. They approved the Grayscale multi-crypto fund, paving way for broader digital assets. It says here the SEC cleared the listing and trading of the Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund. I believe that's exactly the one that we looked at in the prior video. I'll go check after I finish talking about this real quick. It says on September 17th, a package of approvals expanding access to digital asset investment vehicles was announced. The decision included authorization of generic listing standards for commodity-based trust shares and new options tied to Bitcoin ETF indexes. Now, keep in mind, commodity-based, number one, and that's the question I brought up before. Are they calling digital assets commodities now? But more importantly, when it talks about this regulatory breakthrough, it's making a reference to the generic listing standards we know that they just recently released generic listing standards to expedite the approval of ETFs in the US markets. That being said, as this SEC stated, the commission approved the listing and trading of the Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund, which holds a spot digital assets based on the CoinDex 5 index. Okay, so holds spot digital assets. Now we know last time with the Osprey one that they kind of head faked us. Let's look very closely at this one. Remember this, the Grayscale team worked expeditiously to bring the first multi-crypto asset ETP to market. Okay, that's something to consider with the regulatory changes. And market analysts viewed the SEC's decision as a significant step in expanding regulatory digital asset exposure. We still haven't narrowed it down yet. Let's narrow it down. Grayscale confirmed that the digital large cap fund has filed a registration statement and prospectus with the SEC. These documents are available through the SEC's EDGAR system and directly from the company. While skeptics warned that multi-asset funds may compound volatility risks, supporters argued that diversification helps reduce concentration in any one digital currency and provides a structured entry point for investors. With this approval, Grayscale has secured a leading position in developing regulated diversified crypto products. Now, leading position, they already had a leading position, so let's interpret that leading position because remember, the Osprey one came out already. And in this instance, it says it was approved trading along with the generic listing standards that the SEC had said before. And so that's the reason I'm bringing that to our attention because it does say here that which holds the digital assets. They hold the spot digital assets based on the CoinDex 5 index. So this looks like a genuine spot ETF approval, a genuine one. And when we went to look at the digital large cap fund, we took note of the fact that it actually did hold weighted amounts of the particular crypto assets in question. And the weighted amounts that we looked at amounted to right here about it's a little less now, 5.59% XRP. I think it was 5.62. That's not relevant. 72% Bitcoin and 17% roughly of Ethereum, 4% of Sol, and 1% of ADA. So they hold these assets. Now, the key thing about them holding assets is that means they took them off the market. And so that alone, just that move alone from one spot ETF reduces the market supply of those assets. Important feature. So when we see articles like this one, where SEC green light triggers XRP, Sol, and Doge spot ETFs, December launch in the race to 10 billion. We know that it was October according to the rules, then extension to November, and now this article is trying to get us to have faith in a December launch being pushed back again, seemingly. But the key feature I want to take from this, aside from the fact that it does talk about how the Securities and Exchange approved generic listing standards that allow the New York Exchange, ARCA, NASDAQ, CBOE, we look at that in the prior video, to list spot crypto exchange products without a product specific 19B4, compressing the path to market to as little as 75 days. This article goes on to say that we should start the marking point of these approved generic listings from the date that it was decided. However, that's not necessarily the case. What we got on here? No thanks. It says here the new rules were approved on September 18th, so the 75-day outer bound lands in early December, a window that accommodates products that satisfy the generic criteria and have operational plumbing in place. Don't buy that. It does not take the 75 days from the September 18th. That's another portion of the head fake and the delay and the misdirection that has been given to the consuming public. Because those same generic listing rules that they say can only start from 1718 just have been discredited when this occurred right here. And this occurred, as I mentioned before, based on those generic approved listings. It says right here, Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund was just approved for trading along with the generic listing standards. So many are much further along in the process with these generic listing standards, and they were expedited. So let's not really buy into this next article that I have here before you about December launch, because if that was the case, then the Grayscale one wouldn't launch until December 2 because the 75 days for them would have started on September 18th. So the starting gun has already been fired. Now it's a matter of the runners running for the tape. But the tape will be different for every runner. It does not take until December. And this is proof of it right here. So a lot of head fake going on, a lot of misdirection going on and misguidance. So perhaps you should come on back and hear what I have to say about it. Because, like I said in one of my other videos, that lizard talk, that reptilian hissing, I understand it. I don't speak it, but I understand it. And I talk about it right here on DK. We'll talk about it. So start looking for a rapid succession of approved ETFs, and they probably will not take 75 days from the 18th. Not all of them. And this is a perfect example. Now, that being said, they're still jockeying to put the coffers in their spot funds by owning the assets. So that's probably going to have a lot of turbulence on the price, and we're going to get unexpected price dips and things of that nature because they do not buy high and sell low. They buy low and sell high. But all we have to do is keep our gorilla grip. I'm DK Will. This is DK Will Talk About It. And I talked about it. Have a wonderful day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.